Have you ever noticed that people sometimes look at you strangely after you share good news? Felt like a friend's compliments are more criticism than praise. Listen. Jealousy is real. Sometimes it's closer than you think. Today, I'm going to talk about the subtle and sometimes obvious signs that someone in your life might be jealous of you. Let's be real, when you're doing well, some people just can't handle it. So, buckle up because I'm about to share ways to spot if someone's secretly jealous of your success. Gossiping behind your back. Okay. Let's start with one of the most obvious signs of insecurity, gossiping about someone behind their back. Nothing shows more insecurity than whispering about someone's success to others instead of talking to them directly. Here's the thing, jealousy thrives on attention. When someone's feeling envious, they'd rather talk about your life with others than celebrate it with you. I mean, it's almost flattering. Right? You're out here just living your life. They're making you the star of their own reality show. Surprise! You didn't even audition for it. A few years ago, when I got my first big promotion, I noticed a friend I trusted acting a bit strange. Instead of congratulating me, they'd make small jokes like, well, you know, people are always hiring for that position. Or, wish you were in luck. It's not that hard to get. And then I heard through the rumor mill that they were saying things about how I must have gotten the job. Lucky or probably knew someone who had an inside connection. The funniest part is that I didn't even realize they felt that way until someone else casually mentioned it at a party. It hit me like a truck. I thought we were close. Jealousy made them talk behind my back instead of being happy for me. That's the thing with jealousy, it often hides behind a smile and comes out when you're not around. If someone's doing this to you, it's not a reflection of who you are or what it's a reflection of their own insecurities. Ultimately, they're dealing with what they see in you that they're not seeing in themselves. So, the next time you hear someone gossiping about your success, remember that you're probably doing something they wish they could do. Don't let it stop you. People will always talk. The important people will celebrate you openly. And for everyone else, let them enjoy the show because clearly, they're watching. Making you feel guilty for success. Here's a weird one that's shockingly common, they try to make you feel guilty for your success. You know the classic, you're lucky, or, some of us aren't that lucky, comments. They'll say it like a joke. It's really a little dig designed to make you feel bad about the good things happening in your life. Listen, success is hard enough to achieve without someone making you feel guilty for it. You work hard. You earn what you've got. Then someone else comes along and tries to make it feel like you're. Some people might think it's selfish to achieve your goals. They might try to make you feel guilty for being happy. Here's an example from my life, when I bought my first car, which I'd saved up for a long time to buy. I thought everyone would be happy for me. I mean, this was a big achievement. One of my oldest friends, someone who had seen me struggle to save every dollar, looked disappointed and said, "Wow. That's nice. I'd love to be able to afford that. I have real bills to pay." And just like that, the excitement of that moment was gone. I started to lose my popularity. I remember thinking, am I not supposed to feel happy about this? It took me a while to realize what was happening. My success made them jealous. Instead of dealing with their own issues, they tried to make me feel guilty. It's an unfair tactic. It can be pretty hurtful if you're not prepared for it. But here's the truth, their feelings don't mean you're doing anything wrong. When people make you feel guilty about something you've worked for, that's their problem, not yours. Instead of trying to make you feel bad, they should talk about their own feelings. Remember this. Don't let anyone make you feel ashamed for achieving your goals. You don't need anyone's permission to enjoy what you've earned. You don't owe anyone an apology for your success. If someone can't celebrate with you, they're not really on your side. It's good to know this sooner rather than later because life's too short to play small just to make others feel comfortable. You deserve to own every bit of happiness you've earned. Copycat behavior. Okay. Let's talk about copycats. Do you know when someone suddenly starts imitating everything you do? They might imitate your style, your hobbies, even the way you talk. I'm not saying that imitation can't be flattering. When you notice someone imitating every little thing about you, it goes from admiration to single white female territory. They're not just inspired by you, they're trying to be you. And trust me, there's a fine line between appreciating someone and losing yourself because you're busy copying them. Let me tell you a little story. I once had a coworker who started copying everything I did. It started small. She'd ask where I got my jacket or mention that she liked a phrase I'd use. Then, suddenly, she got the same haircut, started dressing in the same colors, took up my hobbies. She even started taking credit for my ideas at work. She mimicked the way I presented things to our boss. Eventually, she even started changing her social media posts to sound just like mine. I'm talking word for word captions. I remember wondering if she was a fan or just obsessed. It was funny at first. Then it felt like I was losing my own identity. I confronted her one day, casually asking if she'd noticed how similar our styles had become. She brushed it off, saying, "Oh, I just think you have great taste." But deep down, I knew it wasn't just about taste. She felt insecure in her own style. She tried to merge into mine. And that's the thing about copycats, they don't want to do that, they're working hard to create their own path. They're threatened by you and want to capture whatever you have. People copy you because they see something in you that they want for themselves. They can't seem to create on their own. Then I realized that being copied isn't just annoying. It's a reflection of what you bring to the table that others find valuable. That doesn't mean you have to let it slide. Copycats will never have what you have because, at the end of the day, people only see the surface. They don't see the hard work, the unique perspective, the personality that makes your choices yours. So, if someone copies you, take it as a compliment. Remember that you're unique and can't be replaced. They might try to copy every detail. They can't take what's uniquely you. Keep doing your thing and let them try to keep up. In the end, there's only one original. That's you. No one can copy authenticity. They bring up your past mistakes. Let's be real. We all have past mistakes, those cringe moments we'd love to forget. Here's the thing, people who really care about you don't feel the need to bring them up every chance they get. Yet, when someone's jealous, it's like they keep a little highlight reel of all your slip-ups. They bring up your past mistakes. Let's be real, we all have past mistakes. We've all had those cringe moments we'd love to forget. But here's the thing, people who really care about you don't feel the need to bring them up every chance they get. Yet, when someone's jealous, it's like they keep a little highlight reel of all your slip-ups. The moment you start shining, they bring up the past. And it's not because they're trying to make you feel small. It's because they feel threatened by your progress and need to knock you down a peg. I'll never forget a friend from a few years back who had this habit. Every time I accomplished something new, They'd casually remind me of some old slip-up, they point out your past mistakes. Let's be real. We all have past mistakes. Those cringe moments we'd love to forget. Here's the thing, people who really care about you don't feel the need to bring them up every chance they get. Yet. When someone's jealous, it's like they keep a little highlight reel of all your slip-ups. Like the time I bombed a college project presentation or fumbled an interview. I remember I'd landed a big opportunity I'd been dreaming of for years. Their first reaction wasn't congratulations. No. It was, wow. That's amazing. To think I remember when you couldn't even handle a group project without messing it up. I was floored. Here I am reaching new heights. Instead of seeing that they're trying to anchor me to the past. At first, I laughed it off. Thinking, it was harmless. It started to become a pattern every time I succeeded. They'd try to remind me of who I used to be instead of who I'd worked hard to become. This behavior isn't about you. Though. It's about them feeling uneasy with your growth. They see your progress and, instead of congratulating you, they reach for the past because they can't handle the present version of you. And honestly, that's a huge indicator of jealousy that they're using your past as a way to make. They point out your past mistakes. Let's be real. We all have past mistakes. Those cringe moments we'd love to forget. Here's the thing, people who really care about you don't feel the need to bring them up every chance they get. Yet. When someone's jealous, it's like they keep a little highlight reel of all your slip. Themselves feel better in the moment. In reality, they're just highlighting their own discomfort with what you're becoming. Here's the thing, growth means learning from mistakes. Not being chained to them. Real friends. Real supporters. They're the ones who see how far you've come and cheer for you. Not throw your past in your face like a cheap shot. If someone keeps bringing up who you were, it's usually because they're afraid of who you're becoming. So, let them live. If they want to, they'll bring up your past mistakes. You've moved on. They're the ones who are still stuck. Next time someone tries to bring up an old mistake, remember that you're not that person anymore. You don't owe anyone an apology for growing up and changing. Let them watch from the sidelines while you keep improving. Your growth shows your strength and that you're moving in a direction they can only dream of. They talk about your past mistakes. Let's be real. We all have past mistakes. Those cringe moments we'd love to forget. Here's the thing, people who really care about you don't bring them up every chance they get. Yet. When someone's jealous, it's like they keep a little highlight reel of all your slip-ups. They make fun of your dreams. Let's talk about those people who love to make fun of your dreams. You know the type. They hear about your big plans and suddenly it's open mic night. Oh. You want to start your own business? Good luck with that. Or. You're going to be a singer now. Ha. Maybe I'll come watch if it's free. They throw shade. Not they're just joking. Because your dreams remind them of the ones they gave up on. They can't handle it. They turn it into a joke that I've been there. When I first started talking about some of my biggest goals, like wanting to work in a creative field and build my own brand, people made fun of me. Some people made fun of me. My friends would say things like, "Oh, you think you're going to be famous?" Or, "Yeah, right. Like people are really going to follow you for that?" At first, I'd laugh along, pretending I wasn't hurt. Deep down, it was embarrassing. I was putting myself out there. People I cared about made me feel like my dreams were a joke. Then I realized something. People didn't make fun of my dreams because they were funny. They did it because my dreams scared them. My dreams reminded them of what they wanted. They never tried to chase it or gave up. They didn't want to look at their own desires. They turned my dreams into a joke. Here's the truth about people who crush dreams: they've felt that same spark once. They let fear or selfishness get in the way, put an end to your doubts. When you pursue something, they remember the risks they didn't take, the dreams they didn't believe in, the paths they chose not to follow. Instead of dealing with their own regrets, they try to make you feel as bad as they do. So, if you're chasing a dream and someone's making fun of it, remember this: they're laughing at themselves more than at you. They're the ones stuck. You're watching from the sidelines while you're out there playing the game. Here's the best part: when you make those dreams come true, they'll be the ones scratching their heads, wondering how you did it. Keep dreaming. Keep pushing. Don't let anyone's laughter turn into a leash. Your dreams aren't there to entertain anyone else, they're there to fulfill you. Hey! When you reach the top, those jokes will sound pretty hollow. Don't you think? Their jokes feel personal. Ah! The jokes that hit a little too close to home. You know what I'm talking about. When someone's joke feels more like a jab, they cover it with a laugh and a quick "I'm just kidding." It's like they're using humor as a way to get under your skin. People who are low, they're not just funny, they're personal. They're about what makes you proud, what you've achieved, what they know is important to you. These aren't jokes, they're insecurities with a punchline. Let me tell you, I had a friend who was a pro at this. I remember I'd gotten into a new fitness routine. Something I'd been working hard on. Was finally seeing results. With someone who is low. With self-esteem. Then one day, out of nowhere, a friend says, "Oh, look. We've got a fitness guru over here. Don't hurt yourself now with all those selfies." I laughed it off at first. It kept happening. Whenever I'd share a milestone or even mention the gym, they'd have something funny to say about it. It started to feel like they weren't actually joking at all. They were just looking for ways to make me feel self-conscious, conscious about something I was excited about. It was as if every joke was designed to make me question myself. Tuna. Here's the thing: I eventually realized that these so-called jokes were actually a form of emotional bullying. The jokes weren't about me, they were about them. Whatever discomfort my progress stirred up in them when someone's jokes constantly go after what you're proud of, it's usually a sign that they're struggling with that same area in their own life. They see you. They're getting somewhere they haven't dared to go. Instead of cheering you on, they hide their envy behind sarcasm and jokes that land just a little too hard. It's a classic case of, "I want what you have. I can't admit it. I'll mask it as humor." Here's the real takeaway: when some jokes are more hurtful than funny, it shows that the person telling the joke is insecure. Not that you're worthless. People who are happy with themselves don't make others feel small. So, if someone makes a joke about your success, dreams, style, recognize it for what it is. Don't let it shake you. Don't waste energy trying to prove yourself to them. Your life isn't their punchline, it's yours to celebrate and live boldly. People who try to knock you down with jokes are often just struggling with their own self, so let them laugh. Let them make their little comments. Keep on doing you. Because here's the best part: your success speaks louder than any joke they can come up with. And trust me, when you keep pushing forward, those little digs they make lose their edge, because at the end of the day, you're moving forward. They're still standing there, cracking jokes from the sidelines. They're always competing with you. Let's talk about the hidden competitor, you know. That friend or co-worker who always has to show you up, you could be sharing something as simple as, "I finally organized my closet." And suddenly they're telling you how they color their jokes feel personal. Ah. The jokes that hit a little too close to home. You know what I'm talking about. When someone's joke feels more like a jab. They cover it with a laugh and a quick, "I'm just kidding." It's like they're using humor as a free pass to get under your skin. People who are low coded and alphabetized theirs last weekend. Say you just landed a new job. Instead of being happy for you, they're out here subtly reminding everyone about their last 2 promotions. It's as if your achievements are merely prompts them to whip out their own accomplishments. Here's the kicker. They're not just trying to keep up. They're turning your life into a race you didn't even sign up for. I had a friend who turned everything into a competition. I'd say, "Hey, I finally finished that big project at work." And they'd immediately start talking about their own accomplishments. If I mentioned learning a new skill, they'd quickly claim to have already mastered it. It got to the point where I didn't want to share anything because I felt like they were always comparing me to them. I knew they'd swoop in with their own story that it was exhausting, that I was just trying to celebrate my little wins. They'd somehow spin it to make me feel like I was always lagging behind, and that's the thing, people who constantly compete with you are actually not rooting for you. They're too caught up measuring theirself. They're not impressed with your success. The more you achieve, the more they feel insecure. They see life as if there's only room for one person to shine. They'll turn even the smallest achievements into a reason to brag about their own superiority. They see your accomplishments as a threat, not a triumph. There's one story in particular that really opened my eyes. I remember when I finally saved up enough to take a big trip that I'd been planning for years. It was a huge deal for me. Something I was so proud of. As soon as I shared it with this friend, they hit me with, "Oh yeah, I did a similar trip last year. I went for 3 weeks. Not 2. I stayed in these incredible 5. There was a particular story that really opened my eyes. I remember when I finally saved up enough to take a big trip that I'd been planning for years. It was a huge deal for me. Something I was so proud of. But as soon as I shared it with this friend, they hit me with, "Oh yeah, I did a similar trip last year. I went for 3 weeks. Not 2. I stayed in these incredible resorts the whole time. Oh, you'll love it. It's just so different when you have more time." I felt deflated. I'd worked hard, planned every detail. Instead of being happy for me, they made it sound like my achievement was less than. That's when I realized this wasn't about support or even sharing experiences. They wanted to win a competition I didn't know we were in. Some people are motivated by a need to compete. This need isn't about you, it's about their own insecurities. People who compare their worth to others will always feel threatened by someone else's success. They don't see your achievements as evidence of your growth, they see them as reminders of their own limitations. This is something they struggle to face. The need to compete often stems from a deep they feel inadequate because they're trying to deal with their own fears and shortcomings. They try to convince themselves that they're enough by outdoing you. But real friends don't keep score. True supporters know that someone else's success doesn't diminish their own. Life isn't a contest with a finish line. There's enough room at the top for everyone who works to get there. A healthy friendship or relationship is built on celebrating each other, not tearing each other down or competing every step of the way. You're here to thrive. Don't let other people's success make you feel bad. If someone tries to use your good news to try to win, remember that they are stuck in a mindset that doesn't allow for success for both of us. Don't let their need to compete stop you from being proud of what you've achieved. Let them keep playing their game because you're on a different path. You get to celebrate your wins without measuring them against anyone else's. Keep shining. Stay true to your path. Remember that you're unstoppable and no competition can take that away from you. Projecting their insecurities onto you. Alright. Folks. Let's talk about one of the sneakiest forms of jealousy projection. This is when someone has their own doubts, fears, insecurities. Instead of owning up to them, they turn around and throw them on you. They'll say things like, "Are you sure you're ready for that promotion?" Or, "Moving to a new city seems risky. What if it doesn't work out?" You're left wondering where all this negativity is coming from. Right. Here's the catch, it's not coming from you. It's their own fears talking. They're trying to make them your problem. I had this friend once who would constantly project his fears onto me. Anytime I shared something ambitious I wanted to do, he'd get this concerned look on his face and go, "Are you sure that's a good idea? What if it's too much for you?" I remember telling him I wanted to start my own business. Right away he started going. He kept telling me how unstable that lifestyle is and how I should just stick to something secure. At first, I thought he was just trying to look out for me. After a while, I realized that these fears weren't actually mine, they were his. He'd always wanted to do something bold himself. His own doubts had held him back. So instead of cheering me on, he tried to project those fears onto me. The thing is, people project their insecurities because they're uncomfortable. When someone they know does something that shows they can do more than they thought, it makes them question everything they've ever wanted to do. It's like seeing your ambition in a mirror. It scares them. Instead of facing their fears, they try to make you doubt yourself. I'll never forget the time I told a family member I was planning to move to another state for a great job opportunity. It was something I'd dreamed of for years. But instead of being excited for me, she was worried that moving would be too risky. She thought, "What if it's too expensive? What if you end up not liking it?" The more I thought about it, the more I realized that she had always wanted to make a big move herself. I was planning to move to another state for a great job opportunity. It was something I'd dreamed of for years. But instead of being excited for me, she was worried. Moving is a big risk. What if it's too expensive? What if you end up not liking it? The more I thought about it, the more I realized that she had always wanted to make a big move herself. But she had never taken the leap. So instead of encouraging me, she projected her fears about the unknown onto me. This made me question something I'd been so sure of. It's like people would rather keep you in the safe, predictable box they've put themselves in. This makes them feel sure that they're making the right choice by playing it safe. This kind of jealousy is a sign that many people have a scarcity mindset, which means they believe success is rare and limited. If you push your limits, it might make them feel threatened because it reminds them of things they haven't dared to do or dreams they haven't realized. Most people would rather criticize others than face the truth about why they've stayed comfortable. But here's the truth, their doubts, fears have nothing to do with your potential. People who are insecure are often the ones who don't have the courage to take risks. They tell you it's too hard or what if you fail. It's because they're too afraid to ask themselves those same questions. They're comfortable where they are. They'll try to convince you that it's dangerous to step out of line. There was this one time I mentioned to a friend that I was considering a total career change. It was a big leap into something I was passionate about it. I didn't have much experience. I'll never forget how they reacted. They said, You're already good at what you're doing. Why change something that's working? That's when I realized they weren't questioning my decision. They were questioning their own. They were terrified of the idea of leaving their safe, familiar career. They tried to project that fear onto me. They were saying, "Don't do what I'm too scared to try." Without realizing it, they were actually saying, "Don't do what I'm too scared to try." People who project their insecurities are usually dealing with their own inner battles. They try to make you stay where you are by convincing you to stay where you are. When you move out of that zone, they see it as a sign that you are not following your dreams. They don't want you to think about that. It's easier to make you question yourself than to ask why they aren't following their dreams. They are projecting their own fears onto you. Remember, they are dealing with their own issues. Their negative comments and discouraging advice are a way for them to deal with their own fears. It's not about you at all. It's their way of dealing with their own doubts. So, the next time someone tries to make you feel like your dreams are too big or your ambitions are too risky, know that they're speaking from a place of limitation. That limitation is theirs, not yours. Here's my advice: don't let someone else's projections hold you back. You're allowed to live beyond their comfort zone. Let them deal with their fears. You've got a path to carve out for yourself. Keep pushing. Keep growing. Remember, their limits don't define yours. Just because they can't see that having a clear vision doesn't mean you can't achieve your goals. So, go for it. Dream big. Let others' opinions motivate you. Remember, nothing they say can stop you from achieving your dreams. This concludes our in-depth look at signs that someone might be a bit invested in you. You might feel a little jealous. Jealousy is a tricky thing. It's human. It's relatable. But it can also bother you if you don't know how to handle it. The truth is, when someone uses you to deal with their own problems, competes with you, tries to make you feel small, it means that your light is shining so brightly that they can't ignore it. This can be uncomfortable. It's also a sign that you're doing something right. Think about it: when people invest so much energy in keeping tabs on you, it says more about them than it ever will about you. You've become a reminder of what they haven't achieved, what they haven't dared to chase, what they might have put on the back burner. But here's the truth: just because they can't see your vision, maybe don't believe in it, doesn't mean you should give up. Your dreams don't mean you have to stop believing. In fact, it's even more reason to keep pushing forward. I remember a time in my life when other people's opinions really bothered me. There were a few friends who constantly criticized my goals. They would say things like, "Why are you working so hard? Take it easy. You don't need to be so ambitious." For a while, I let that affect me. I wondered if maybe I was pushing too hard or expecting too much. Looking back, I realized that those were just people who didn't understand my journey. They didn't understand my vision. That's okay. Not everyone will understand your ambition or the reasons behind your dreams. If you take one thing from this video, let it be this: you can pursue your dreams and ambitions. Don't let anyone's jealousy or insecurity stop you. People will try to limit you because that's comfortable for them. They'll question your decisions and criticize your path. Even make fun of your dreams. If they're doing that, it's usually because they've either given up on their own dreams or they're afraid to take risks themselves. That's their journey, not yours. When I finally learned to let go of other people's opinions and just focus on my own path, things started to change. I started setting boundaries with those people who couldn't be happy for me. I found people who genuinely supported my goals. That's when I realized that the journey to success, happiness, self-fulfillment isn't just about achieving goals. It's also about choosing the people you spend time with. You need people who support you, who push you to be better, who don't make you feel bad about yourself. So, my advice is to keep being the best you can be. Don't change who you are to fit in with other people. Don't let anyone tell you that your dreams are too big, too bold, too different. You have every right to have big dreams. Pursue what makes you feel alive and fulfilled. Every person who might doubt you, project onto you, try to drag you down, remember that there are also people out there who'll support and celebrate your journey. Sometimes it's just a matter of finding them. If you liked this video, if you felt called out or empowered, click the like button and leave a comment below on what signs of jealousy you've noticed. Don't forget to subscribe for more real talk on self-growth, relationships, and dealing with those tricky situations we all face. I want you to finish this feeling good about yourself because, honestly, people's jealousy is rarely about you. It's usually about them. So stay focused on your journey. Keep building the life you want. Remember, you're allowed to be as big, bold. I want you to walk away from this feeling confident in yourself, because the truth is that people's jealousy is rarely about you. It's almost always about them. Stay focused on your journey. Keep building the life you want. Remember that you're allowed to be as big, bold, ambitious as you want to be. Thanks for watching, sticking with me to the end, for choosing to be a part of this journey. Let's keep supporting each other. Let's keep building each other up. Most importantly, let's keep being unapologetically ourselves. Until next time, keep shining. Keep believing in yourself. I'll see you in the next one.